York, New York.
Yo. Welcome back to episode 4 of New York Noise, the newest audio and visual podcast highlighting underground, up-and-coming New York City rappers. You know, the niggas that we plan and hope to put on this show are the niggas that are going to be dominating culture both nationwide and in the city in a few, very, very soon. Shout outs first to Davon and Core NYC. Hanging it out, you know, nigga Davon doing some big things over there. So shout out for the hoodies. Go cop that. Follow that on the Instagram. Shout them out. But here we got episode 4 with my man's Taliban Fels.
Yo.
Building, and his man's Gio. We got Bryce Bart on the cam. We got a little spliff in the house. And thank you, Jackson, for letting us use the crib. You know, everything calm, always some family shit. So I think first, just to start off the podcast, we ask everyone we put on here just to give us, to open it up first and to give you a little bit of time to first just tell us a little bit about like where you're from, kind of the process of how you first started making music all the way, you know, back in 2 years ago when you niggas started really putting stuff on SoundCloud. So just, I want to open it up to you, just kind of introduce yourself, like tell people what they want to hear a little bit, feel me?
Right. Well, my name is Fellow, Taliban Fels. Some people call me Fels. But my name is Fellow. I'm from Brooklyn, Crown Heights specifically. And yeah, I just been and going into the music aspect. I feel like I've been making music all my life. Like being young and black in America, I feel like we always making music, whether it's just leaving the crib or just actually hopping on a microphone or writing some shit down. So I just been making music all my life, but really taking it serious happened like later on in life, like around like 16, maybe 17. But yeah, I just been always hustling, always grinding for Brooklyn, New York. I lived in Brooklyn all my life. Yeah.
Feel you. And so, like, even starting right, so your first track, I mean, on SoundCloud, I'm sure there's been many more, but that shit was dated about 2 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. So, kind of leading up to that process, what was that like? What was the, you know, the first writing process like, yo, I'm finally going to make a track on some shit, finally taking this shit seriously, you know what I mean?
Well, the build up for that track specifically, like, and just taking it serious overall, I would say is really when I started to fall in love with music. I say because I wasn't able to make music properly or to my satisfaction until I was able to fully understand music, in my opinion. Yeah. And for a long time, I just thought that music was something like surface layer, and it's way deeper than that. And like I always got to bring it back to like listening to Pac and shit like that, like and just understanding that rap is way bigger than fucking bitches and you feel me, Benzes and chains, and I understand all that too because I want it all too. I want, you feel me, the glamour and the fame, but it's deeper. It's what you gonna say that leaves imprint in someone's mind. How you gonna, you feel me, shape generations.
And that actually leads me to my next question, which is early influences, kind of to get you to start right. Did you were you inspired to write music by listening to people like Pac, or were there certain people in your life and just musically that kind of inspired you to finally start rapping?
Mm-hmm. Definitely Pac, always gotta give it to Pac, but there are also plenty of other influences, whether it's just like, and the influences also range outside of music as well. So like when looking at music, obviously I'm from New York, so you feel me, I gotta be a fan of G-Unit, Dipset, and that's old, that's old stuff too, like, but just going to the newer generations of like my timeline, like ASAP, Pro Era, those whole movements, and that's definitely something that got me more equipped with like what rap was in today's generation. But yeah, I've always been a fan of the classics like Pac, Big L, Big Pun, feel me, the greats, the pavement.
And I think that's, so when you first released your first tracks on the cloud, right, Take One, like What We Gonna Do, that's when you started creating this idea of Taliban Fels. Can you take us behind the name first?
Taliban Fels.
Like where you got that.
Taliban Fels wasn't even a thing then. Like you feel me? That someone came later with like the music building up and like the aura of it. And like when I first made this track, I was at my son. Shout out Ice Heist. That's my brother. That's one of my main producers as well. He from the Bronx, so you feel me? I used to go up to the Bronx like run 6'5". You feel me? I'm 16 right now. I'm 16 at the time. Like my parents wasn't, my mom specifically, my pops not living on that time, and he wasn't jacking that. So he was always on some like it's a dub, and I used to be like, nah, fuck that. Like I'm gonna do what I love. I'm gonna have to go out to the Bronx. You feel me? Whether it's 3 a.m. and I'm coming back home and I got school the next day, because I remember those nights too. But building up to the Taliban Fels, I was on the train one day and I had on a scarf, like I had on like one of those Arab money scarves, and my son D-Lo, he was like, we was about to go to Explode. That's how real it is. Right on Notion. And I was like, yeah, I gotta find a way to hop on the track. You feel me? Like on some thinking about aliases and shit. And then he was just like Taliban Fels. And I got on the mic and I was just saying Taliban Fels. And bitches was jacking Taliban Fels. Niggas was jacking Taliban Fels. So you feel me? The rest is history.
I feel you.
And it's also there's also bigger than that too, because Taliban Fels is like, it's not just the first thought of like the Taliban and shit like that, or it's also fighting for what you believe in. Because you feel me, even though America looks at the Taliban as terrorists, or like terrorist organizations look at America like they're terrorists, because America is one of the biggest terrorists out there. If you want to keep it 100, so you feel me, it boils down to fighting for what you believe in and willing to die for what you believe in.
True. I think that's something that you can tell that kind of whole social aspect and the idea of especially you wanting to put stuff that is deeper than rap, deeper than just kind of surface level, bitches and money and all that shit in your rap. I think that's seen in your music, especially in the beginning. So I want to start at the beginning, going through those tracks in terms of just like musically. There's a lot of like heavy kind of, I want to say 90s vibes kind of thing going on back then. So is that kind of just the first things you feel most comfortable because you were listening to that? Mostly, is that how you just, it was right in your pocket, so you felt most comfortable?
It was somewhat like, it wasn't even more like I thought about it as well. It was somewhat like a reaction, you feel me? Like fight or flight, like shit like that. Like you feel me? It was literally like I started writing and that's how it came out. It wasn't like premeditated, like all right, I'm gonna try and have a 90s style, I'm gonna try and have an early 2000s style. It was just that what I listened to somewhat flowed with my pen and my pad, like that shit, it just came out and it spoke for itself. So that was definitely something. And it was also like for a while I had to try and not separate myself, but just understand that that's all fine. But I'm in today's, I'm not, you feel me? I'm not in 1995, I'm in 2018.
Yeah, exactly.
You feel me?
You gotta adapt to the times.
Exactly.
I feel like on some shit. And I think that kind of leads, this might be another new development, but I think it's something that, especially anyone who follows you on maybe even social media, just listen to your music, will hear you shout out like Damu Brothers, you feel me? So you want to...
Damu. So that's basically, Damu Brothers is ideology, it's a group, it's eventually it's going to be a label, it's going to be it's more than just, it's Damu Brothers, you feel me? And Damu means blood in Swahili, and the blood brothers basically, so that's what it translates to in English. And I always and I put Damu Brothers because it's literally like unity and it's power and my black nation, you feel me? Like Damu Brothers, that's us. So I wanted it to always be, I wanted it to build up and have shit like the Roman Empire. Like we go into marketing, clothes, fashion, you feel me, advertising, rap of course, and just also looking for other talent out there, like always.
And even just from hearing you speak right now, I can tell that you're very passionate about that kind of the further aspect of just rapping. You don't want to just be confined to one box of just a rapper. So I want to add, like in your life in the past, are there certain influences for that, like to inspire you besides people like Pac, obviously, but maybe other people in your life that have inspired you to, be very socially active and kind of want to empower yourselves, empower your community more than just kind of just make music?
Definitely. I always got to give it up to my dukes. My mom, she instilled in me very early that like you got to be willing to die for something if you want to live. So like shit like that, and just like that it took a while too, because I always didn't understand it. Like I always didn't understand that it was bigger than like I remember, you feel me, like just it's growing up young and black, and you just see, you understand it, like you see it through your own eyes, you go through experiences like trying to do good when the world around you isn't doing good. So I understand it all, and I just always tried to communicate that into my music, because you feel me, like if you're gonna talk about when you in the band, you gotta talk about when you was on the bus. If you're gonna talk about when you got $100 in your pocket, you gotta talk about when you had one and when you had none. So it's life. You can't just only highlight one aspect of life, because that's a false reality on it. And that's why I always, like when I got on the mic, I always tried to communicate what I thought. And like, you feel me, like revolutionaries like Fred Hampton, Bobby Seale, Assata Shakur, those is all my role models too. Like, and then just looking at stuff like that, like revolutionaries, and then also just understanding, like, you feel me, how that ideology can transform into like homies on the block and shit like that. So just
how everything's connected.
Exactly, it's all intersectionality. So you feel me, just having to adapt to that is definitely one thing that helped me with just being conscious.
I definitely see that. I think now I want to get into your discography just a little bit. So as you dropping more tracks on the cloud, people starting to feel you more and more.
Definitely, Taliban.
Of course. I think your sound kind of I want to say like over the years has changed a little bit. Feel me? Kind of not only from beat selection, but even the way you rap on certain tracks. Is there certain things that happen that kind of cause that shift? Is it just maybe you evolving as an artist, or maybe you kind of being in a new circles, like with new producers, new beats? What kind of sparked that change?
I think just like, well, the change from like somewhat the more boom bap sound to like just more, I guess, trap. I wouldn't even call it trap. Like, you feel me? I think it's soul music to me, all that shit. So it's just that change somewhat just came with the change of life. You feel me? Like when you're 16 and or when you're 15, you have less experiences, or when you have less, like, you feel me? You could talk about things that you could think that you know things, but you don't necessarily know them. And that's what it took me a while to understand too. That just because I thought I might know something, or my homies went through something, or like, you feel me, it's not the same as you understanding it and you fully getting the grasp of it. So like, just the change came from just me growing up and me going through different shit. Like when you feel me, you could say all day that we all black and we also be working together. But when you got a black nigga punch you in your face, it don't make sense. You feel me? Shit like that. So you can have the ideology, but what is reality versus the rhetoric? So it's all good to be thinking that we should all be one, but like, it took me a while to understand that, like, I believe in my people, but you feel me? It doesn't always correlate, so you gotta just keep striving for what you believe in at the end of the day.
Yeah, I feel you. Like niggas say, like all your skin folk ain't your kin folk, some type of shit like that. And so I think as you kind of evolve into more of that trap sound, and a lot of people now, especially, get a lot of shit from a lot of old heads, but a lot of time for not having any, let's say, like substance in their music, right? They say a lot of trap artists don't. You know, type shit like that. But especially as you who deeply cares about a lot of like issues aside from music, how can you combine? I know you combine those two sounds, and I think that is that an intentional thing for you? Like, is it hard sometimes to maintain that kind of social aspect of things while making trap records and kind of appealing to people who necessarily might not be listening for that?
And I definitely think it's a battle. It's an uphill battle. When you got a boulder on you, you feel me? It's like you gotta try and fit words in that match to a certain thing. But like, I never tried to rap for the next person. You feel me? I always rap for myself. So that's why I feel like I never I know what the problems that you're talking about, but I feel like those problems never really hear me because I always rapped about the daily shit that I went through. So as long as I could flow to the beat, then it would always, you feel me? Like, even going back to like one of the first trap joints I did, Smooth with the Mac, with like all Horny Boys and all of them, like, you feel me? I said like, police trying to kill a nigga, young and black, 6'1", peep me standing in the back. I'm frying up like bacon on some shit like that. You feel me? I don't even remember the whole bar, but just trying to always incorporate that fact, because you could do both. Like, you feel me? You don't have to rap on some. You don't have to rap on no drum ass beat like you on the subway to be able to talk real shit. You feel me? You could talk real shit no matter what you in it without a beat. So you feel me? Just shit like that, and just trying to merge it, because I understand. Because I fuck with all that music too. Like, I don't even want to separate them, but I fuck with trap music hard because I feel like there's something that's there that wasn't boom bap music. You feel me? And I feel like there's shit that's in boom bap music that's not in trap today. So I feel like it's all about the mixing of both cultures and just bringing it to one. And that's what I always tried to do, bring it to one.
And I think that that's exactly what more and more niggas need to do, because right now it's kind of like this big divide between like all these trap niggas and like a lot of old heads, but there's a lot more in common that a lot of people don't talk about.
We all trying to get a mill at the end of the day.
Very
true. We all trying to get it.
And I think something that I've been curious about is like the process behind writing. Feel me? We ask this to a lot of people, to all the artists we come up here, but a lot of people have different styles. You know, some people are more freestyle oriented. Some people kind of are writing all the time. Where do you fall in that? Like, how's your writing process? Because I feel like just from hearing you and how like meticulous and passionate you are about these things, I mean, I would assume that kind of carries on into your writing
Definitely.
process.
Writing, I always got a notebook on me or something. Like, when I got my book bag, at least I always used to have my notebook in my bag. And I know, like, I read the book Decoded, so I know, like, you feel me, Jay-Z, he used to always, like, one thing I read when I read the book is just, like, when you see some shit and you feel like you could write it, like, you in a group of people, I used to be in a group of people, you feel me, they keep walking, I see some shit that I feel like I could write, and I'll stop and literally write it down, or I throw it in my notes on my phone, you feel me, but I always like to have a pen and pad because I felt like it was more real than, and I don't know why, I just personally felt that way. Like, whether I'm writing on my phone or I'm writing in a notebook, I feel like when I'm writing in a notebook, it's like it was written on some shit, you feel me? Like, so just shit like that, like And then so my process with writing is usually though like I'll listen to a beat like my man's right here going crazy with the beats. So I'll just relating back to one of those. I'll listen to his beat like and then I'll try and get a flow with it, or I'll try and get like a chorus vibe, or I'll try and get like see a way I can flow it. And then when I got that, I'll put in the lyrics and I'll try and do that. And then I'll always just sometimes like I might have a moment where I stop for a second and I think about what I'm gonna put, but I always just let it usually come. And then there are some days when I can't even write, like when I don't feel like doing that, you feel me? When it's not what I want to do, and I try and always force myself to do it, but I also don't, because I know when I force myself, it might not be as genuine.
Yeah, I feel you.
And I want everything to be genuine when I get on the mic.
Kind of don't want to force your creativity, especially.
And so then, like as you releasing more and more tracks, that kind of comes into the development of like your first tape, kind of putting together tracks. Yes, sir. So kind of take us behind the creation of La Luna and kind of the process between that, like where you were musically, where you were like just in your life in terms of how you events that were going on that kind of inspired it in terms of content and just what you were looking to create.
So with La Luna, like that La Luna, I'll explain the title of the project first. La Luna means the moon in Spanish. And so basically I wanted my track to be like, I wanted my project to be like the moon, like it changes, you feel me? Like, and that's another thing, like I want everything to be versatile. So I want you to listen to one track and it evokes one emotion, and then you can listen to the next track and it evokes a completely different one, because life is always highs and lows. It's not always just highs or always just lows, you feel me? So just doing stuff like that, and like when it goes to the individual track process, like I feel like the first track is Who You Know on there, and like I made this whole project during the summer. Like when I make music, I often like with this project specifically, I didn't have a end goal in mind. Like I didn't start off like I'm gonna do this track for the project. I literally was just making music, and I felt like, all right, this shit should go on there, or this shit should go on there. You feel me? And then. So when it comes to like during the summer, I was trapping and all that. So like, Who You Know is just one of those like, it's one of those joints where you could call out to, but it goes, what you need and who you know. I walked up in the party with the plan to let it go. Shit will sell, just let it flow. In a room full of niggas trying to go and hide your hoe. So you feel me? Real shit. Real shit. Talk about daily shit. It's always gonna hit, nigga. So you feel me? Just like, and that's what I was really going through. What you need and who you know, man. Who sent you, homie? So shit like that, and then just bringing it out to like out of LA. LA is a place in Queens. So I wasn't even really in Cali. I ain't never been to Cali yet, which is crazy. I feel like every New York person wants to go to California. Like that's what it is. You feel me? So like out of LA though, that's my son Neptune Crib, who produced the beat as well. He live in Queens, and shit like that. You feel me? Just bobbing with it and shit. Yeah, shit like that. Bro.
I feel you. One of the standout tracks. I mean, when I was listening to the tape, it's something like Lil Homies,
Lil Homies, yeah, that's my shit. That's a pop beat.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So like that's what I mean. You touched on it a little bit before, like how much Pac has influenced you. But in terms of just making your music, I think it's kind of obvious to see that there's a lot of similar elements in both your music and his music in terms of the like cadence and kind of beats and stuff like that. So. What can you say about in terms of how Pac has affected your musical career?
As a music, I feel like it's bigger than music though. Like, and I always tried to, like, Pac is great. You feel me? I understand it. Like, I always, but for a while too. Just before I talk about that, like for a while too, it took me a while to try and separate the two. You feel me? Like, and that also came with learning to love myself, and also came with learning to know who I was. Because you feel me? I'm not Pac at the end of the day. I'm Fella. So you feel me? And I gotta live life as Fella, and I gotta go through my experience as Fella, and I gotta communicate it as Fella. Cause you feel me? So and that's what I always try to do. But then just going back to the Pac question, it's bigger than rap with Pac at least, cause that showed me that like you feel me, stand for something you believe in. Like it showed me like that you could be black and you don't only have to portray one aspect of life. You could be versatile. You could be, you feel me? You feel me? Real niggas cry too. I understand it. Like, you feel me? You could. It's not. You don't have to hide anything. Embrace it all. You feel me? And that's one thing that Pac definitely told me, and that's why I always bring his name up, because you feel me? That's somebody that showed me that how to go out and get it, and go out and shape life. And I never met that man in my life, and that's one of the reasons why I love music as well, because I see the power behind it. I never met that man in my life, but he changed my life.
Exactly.
Ain't that crazy? You feel me? So that's what I want to do to the next nigga who listen to my song. The next little nigga who, you feel me, see they mom struggling over bills, shit like that. That's what I want to do. Be able to give them the motivation that they can keep going and keep striving.
True. I feel you. And I think that's really important. And I think that a lot of people, especially that goes back to that idea of, old heads versus new heads, and there's so much in common. We can have you can influence so much and even create, as you said, like now you're making certain trap kind of beats, certain trap kind of songs, but your pocket's the biggest influence. I think that's something. Another track that kind of pops out is "On My Mind" with Kate Benzo.
That's my song Benzo.
So
shout out Kate, man. Shout out Kate.
Yeah, to take it behind that recording process and like maybe just in general collaborations and like your attitude towards that.
And that track, like that shit get me tight every time I hear it because the quality's so trash on that shit. Like I'll literally get tight because I'll be like, this track is fire, but the quality, like, you feel me? So just with that track, I was in the East with my son Benzo. We was at my son Blitz's crib, Freshmount Blitz. We was over there just working, you feel me? So my son Benzo was in the studio, and I believe D-Lo was looking through beats type shit, and he found one. And we was just all flowing with the bobbing type shit. And then my son Benzo had the chorus like, why you on my mind? Why you on my mind? And then I just came in with I always knew how to rap on a trap beat, and I always knew how to do trap shit on a trap beat too, you feel me? Because I know when a beat needs delivery, and that's one thing I had to work on as well, like learning how to switch flows even in the same cadence. Like learning how to go back to back with something, or you could literally like talk on a track as if you were like talking, as if me and you are having a conversation. Like you don't always have to have a flow with everything, you feel me? So just doing shit like that, and just with that track specifically, like that's a smutty ass trap record, you feel me? So I just came on that shit like, I don't even remember what I said, keep it 100, but I just know I came on that shit on some lit shit, just working. That's a joint that I feel like that's something that you could listen to whether you in a party or whether you with a bitch or whether you just by yourself smoking a spliff. And you feel me? And I hope every time you get a different feeling or you will listen to something new and you'll hear something new with it.
Yeah, and so that goes back into, that leads into, that was produced by Ice Heist, right? So
On My Mind, that wasn't even produced by Ice Heist. I believe On My Mind was, that was not Ice Heist beat. That was just I think that was some YouTube shit. Don't tell nobody.
So in terms of beats, do you like have certain producers that you want to stick to, or like that you kind of like more, or are you kind of open to getting beat packs from mad different people, kind of choosing and selecting?
Well, I always gotta fuck with family. You feel me? I always gotta go where I know if nothing broken, don't fix it. You feel me? Like YouTube beats is all fine, they all great, and sometimes they might work, but that's a beat that 30 other niggas could use. And you feel me? Like, don't you want to do something that's individual or that's you? So you feel me? I always talk with my son Ice Heist. I gotta give a shout out to my mans right here. You feel me? My son lit right now. I gotta give a shout out to my mans, no pill, you know we rocking, man. We always turning up. We always gotta keep working and always gotta keep doing it. I was recently just wilding on two of his beats. I was just in the studio wilding on two of his beats. So you feel me? I always go to where it's familiar to me. Like I always, because if I know you nice, I'm gonna always fuck with you. If I fuck with you, I'm gonna always fuck with you. If I see that you was real to me, I'm gonna always be real back. You feel me? So I always gotta go where like, and especially because in nowadays age, people always be trying to be like, send me some bread for this beat or shit like that. You feel me? I'm trying to make it just like you, homie. So you feel me? See my vision and see, and because I see your vision, see my vision and see how we could work together and build something that you feel me? We don't gotta ask nobody for bread. We can have our own bread. You feel me? So see, and that's what I feel like often lacks. Like with today, everybody wants shit quick, which I understand. I understand it completely. I'm not shunning. I'm not trying to hate on that at all. I understand wanting it all right now. So you feel me? We all deserve it right now, but just we gotta work for it. So I always gotta fuck with my homies, whether it comes to beats or whether it comes to if I know they can rap, get them on the track. Yeah,
I feel you. And that kind of, so even just with the tape out right now, and a lot of tracks, especially, where do you want to see yourself like going? Do you see like, is there an end goal, or are you kind of like letting it play out naturally? Like I know some niggas want to be signed, some people want to remain independent. So where do you see it? What's your end goal, or if you have one?
With me, whether it comes to a record label or shit like that, like that's all cool. Like you feel me? Like that's on. When it comes to like knowing what I want in terms of a record label contract or shit like that, like to be honest, I'm gonna keep it above with this interview right now. I don't know, because you feel me? I was always but I understand the business aspect of it as well. Like it's the music industry at the end of the day, and niggas will try and scheme you over if you don't have your shit right. So I always want to, as I mentioned Damu Brothers earlier, I always want to have my own label and always want to have not even my shit, but our own shit. You feel me? To where niggas could all get it, and to where we could all empower ourselves and feed the next man and feed the next black brother at the end of the day, a black sister. So just I think my main goal right now is just work, and I see that people's gravitating to the work too. Like I go to school out of Indiana, so I got a scholarship out of Indiana, which is another thing too. You feel me? I was doing all this shit, and I still managed to get a scholarship. I don't know how. You feel me? So that's why I just gotta know that everything. Hopefully, it all comes in time. So like, but yeah, I go to school in Indiana at DePaul University. Some West bubble fuck shit, but it's good out there because I'm seeing that in New York, people have a different mentality when it comes to your music. Like niggas is not gonna, you feel me? You people immediately shun shit in New York or shut it out, while people out of state gravitate to it, which is different and something I didn't experience yet. You feel me? And especially when it comes to the white audience that listens to your music as well, because I go to school with majority white people, and you feel me? I just opened up for Nebu Kinza like last month, the nigga who did Gassed Up Shorty. I just opened up for him at my school. You feel me? My school paid me for that shit and all that shit. So you feel me? People seeing the work. People seeing the work. Robbins Jeans just sent me a package. They fuck with me. You feel me? Shouting me out, all that shit. They sponsoring me. So you feel me? Niggas just gotta do work. Just gotta keep working, and eventually that shit will just build up, and it will. Cause I know it don't all come in time. I mean, it all do come in time. So you feel me? It's just about building up and just getting the work ethic that will put you in those positions. But my goal for right now is just keep making fire music and live life, because it comes with all that shit, and let my fire music hopefully take me out of all this shit, bring me to the jet.
Say that, of course. And that's good that you brought up DePaul, because I was about to ask you some of my next questions. Especially being a college student, that's already like a commitment in itself. You know, you're dealing with schoolwork, kind of trying to get your degree and all that. So how do you balance both music and going to college? And is it difficult? Do you ever have any, setbacks with that? But how do you navigate that?
At first, like before I even went out there, like I didn't want to go out there because I felt like it was going to take away from my music, and I felt like it was going to take away from the opportunities that might be presented via my music. But when I'm going out there, I feel like it was great because I was able to get a different audience. I was able to get a different audience listening to my music. But it also does affect me in a negative way because I go to school in West Bubblefuck. There ain't many experiences that you can really have. So that communicates to what I put in my music at the end of the day. So I always just try to find those experiences, and I've always been a 24/7 type of nigga, you feel me? So like I'm always just trying to find those experiences and find shit to put in my music. But yeah, definitely when it comes to like how often I can record and shit like that, like I'm limited at DePaul. I'll actually have a blue mic which I use in my crib type shit in my dorm to record like demo versions. I think I got like 2, maybe 3 good tracks via that, like which I gotta just mix and master. Like, but I just don't like. I like the feeling of standing up and rapping and like just having an engineer, you feel me, like who can handle all that shit, and then I just gotta put the rap into it. So shit like that. But then it also is a benefit because like right now I do a work study with like the music engineer on campus. So like the main music engineer, and like he's showing me how to mix and master shit. And just shit like that, because that's all at the end of the day I could communicate and I could apply it to my music. So it was just it wasn't necessarily a setback, but it was just a you feel me? It was a separation, which isn't necessarily going backwards. It's just I had to get adapt to the environment out there.
And it's also important to get an education.
Exactly. At the end of the day, word too. Definitely got to do it. You feel me? Hustle as many ways as you can. You feel me? And I respect and I understand and respect everybody that can't do that, because I was blessed with the opportunity. At the end of the day, I was blessed with a posse scholarship, which, you feel me, a young black nigga from Crown Heights, not many people have it. So, which I'm very grateful of.
It's excellent.
Which I'm very grateful of. And I'm just trying to, you feel me, bring this college shit back to the block. You feel me? Flying on the world, gaining cash, smoking crop, shit like that.
I feel you. And I think just even from hearing you talk about Damu Brothers and talking about going to college, you're very strong, like, brotherhood and empowering yourself, and not only yourself, but you and your niggas and like everybody. So I think now we want to talk about, like D-Lo, Ziglo, like Canthels, all of them, like how you became affiliated, kind of your friendships, relationships, brotherhood, all that kind of stuff with them. How that started, and where you see that headed with y'all.
Well, that's, you feel me, those my gang, like, and it expands more than that. You feel me? I got plenty. Shout out all my niggas, man. I can't even start with the names because I know I'm gonna just keep going. You feel me? So just shout out all my niggas. You know who you is, man. You feel me? And just all that shit, like, and then I just hopefully I want us all to succeed in life, whether it's, you feel me, whether it's somebody I'm with every single day or just somebody I see on the block. Like I want everybody to succeed in life and do what they got to do to succeed in life at the end of the day. You feel me? Because nobody is here for you more than yourself.
Yeah.
So you feel me? You got to work for yourself because nobody will love you until you love yourself at the end of the day. Nobody will help you until they see that your shit is building up and you can do it yourself.
Definitely.
So I just want everybody to, whether their goal in life is to, you feel me, have 2 kids and have a 9-to-5 job, which I don't know who, you feel me, so maybe some niggas goals are like that, or whether they want a Rolls Royce looking up at the stars, you feel me, shit like that. I just want everybody to work towards that goal and don't be stationary. Don't be stationary. Don't just, if you're doing nothing, make sure that you're doing something. Make sure if you're doing nothing, just make sure you're doing something because it's very possible, you feel me?
Yeah.
I just want everybody to get it.
Type shit. I feel you. I think also, on a separate note though, anyone who would follow you on the Instagram or on Facebook or even just a little bit would see that, you know, you do, I won't say you put some time, but you can see that niggas like care about fashion, feel me? So niggas is drip.
Drip, man,
all the time.
Drip.
So how does that maybe inform your music or in general, just even on the basics, like are there style influences that you've had, or have you been like this for a long time? Like, is it, fashion's always been something that matters to you?
Yeah, definitely. Fashion always been something that matters to me. Not even whether it's fashion or just like, because you feel me, you don't need designer to be fly at the end of the day. Like you could drip in whatever. You feel me? So just, I think that always just, whether it's just looking, you feel me, when you got on a good fit, you feel fresh. You feel me? When you got on a good fit, you feel, whether it's the confidence level that boost or whether it's just like you feeling yourself. You feel me? It's just you feel good with a good outfit. You feel me? So it's just like, I always just been somebody that tries to coordinate or like, you feel me? I don't even know how to explain my style really. Call it hippie, soul rock combination, all that shit. You feel me? So just trying to remain true to myself and not wear shit via the fact that other people was wearing it too, because that was my mind state for a little bit too. When like 6th grade, 7th grade, you feel me? You see somebody with something and you immediately were like, Jadakiss said, why the next man want what one can't have? You feel me? So shit like that. Like you see somebody with Adidas track suit and you feel me? You got True Religion jean jacket, shit like that. You want it.
Some shit.
You feel me? Jordan's on, but you feel me? You can't get it at the time because you wasn't in the position to get it. So just. And then when I got older in life and I started getting it for myself, then I was able to fully, like, you feel me, adapt to it. Because I still remember the first pair of sneakers I bought via myself from the track. So you feel me, just shit like that. And just when I feel like when you get it on your own, you know the value of money more, so you know what to spend it on and you know what not to spend it on at the end of the day.
True. And I think that I think a lot, especially New York niggas know how to dress, like in relation to the rest of the world. You know, some of these Atlanta niggas be on some different type of time sometimes. But I feel like New York niggas always got drip. Exactly. So something you touched on a little bit earlier was that when you went to DePaul, you felt that kind of different response from outside of New York than when you went here and when you dropped music. I think that's a problem that, especially what we're trying to do here in this podcast, especially trying to solve, and is that, you know, New York niggas are mad isolated, have a lot of
facts.
We're not as supportive of one another as a lot of other places should be, and we are probably one of the states with the most talent.
Exactly.
So, what are your opinions on kind of like the current state of New York? Yeah, and kind of where we are in rap.
I fuck with New York rap at the current moment. I feel like it could definitely, like, I feel like New York rap is very versatile at the end of the day. You feel me? We got mad different sounds. So I fuck with New York rap at the current, and I especially fuck with New York underground scene. Like, I feel like the work is definitely there. I feel like we all do be working. Whether it's, I hear a lot of bullshit too. I won't front. Like, I hear a lot of bullshit. You feel me?
There's a lot of trash too.
But there's good shit too. Like, that's why I never wanted to classify SoundCloud rappers or just, you feel me? Because I understand you could be making heat on SoundCloud that the world just doesn't know about yet. So shit like that, and just I think that the state of New York it's alright right now. I definitely think we need more unity. Like we got fucking Tekashi 6ix9ine trying to sneak into Summer Jam and shit. Like he from New York at the end of the day. Like regardless of
him and Ebro,
exactly. Like we all trying to turn up at the end of the day. We should all be. You feel me? So just shit like that. Like but Ebro, like I heard nigga was clowning Tekashi. Like what are you doing?
On the show this morning.
But I also like old boy was down to just like I guess the relationships that are built and like how we can all work together, because Atlanta, you mentioned earlier, they all work together, like whether it's underground DJ highlighting a mainstream artist, or whether it's a mainstream artist, and bringing like Gucci always co-signing niggas in Atlanta. You feel me? And that's great because New York don't really have that. Like you got ASAP Mob, which I love and respect. But it's just you got ASAP Rocky signing Cardi from Atlanta type shit. Yeah. But he also, I can't even shun it though, because he also did sign Smokey Margello, who's from New York. So you feel me? Just shit like that. But I think it just all boils down to just cultivating the craft and us all working together at the end of the day, and not no crabs in the barrel shit. Like if you're nice, let's just help the next man out and keep succeeding. That's why I shout out my son Bryce. Shout out this whole interview process. I love it. You feel me? I love all this shit, because that's all this shit that will work together and help build the future. No caps.
And do you think that, especially by releasing music in the city and kind of with that harder mentality and harder response to get out of people, does that drive you even further in terms of the musical process? Like, you have to come correct in order to, get the response that you want? Definitely.
I know that I have to do I know that some tracks that I make are for certain groups, and I know that other tracks that I make are for other groups, you feel me? Yeah. So, like, I got some music like that people won't want, like, I understand not wanting to listen to no J. Cole record in a party, you feel me? So I'm not going to try and play no J. Cole record in a party, because I'm trying to turn up at the end of the day at a party. But I also understand that it's bigger than that. Sometimes you just want to listen to shit that actually makes sense and just all correlate. So whether it's, wait, you can repeat the question, Muffle?
I was just talking, what did I just ask? I was just telling you, in the environment of New York, is it harder because it's harder to get a response that you want, and because of we have a lack of unity? Does that drive your process even further? Do you have to come correct?
Definitely. So I feel like with the fact that people don't, the fact that I gotta work even harder to try and get my shit out, it all motivates me at the end of the day. Because you feel me, pressure makes diamonds at the end of the day. So you gotta keep working, and eventually, if you're working right, if you're doing it right, then it will all pay off, inshallah. So just the fact that New York is less lenient to it, but I also know that some niggas, I'll play them a track and you feel me, they won't necessarily fuck with it. But when I got that track that I know niggas, or even the niggas that be hating the most, when I got that track that they, you feel me, fuck with or whatever, then I know that it's really so that feeling when you see somebody who been hating on your shit, because you can't deny good music at the end of the day. So the fact that you feel me, you see somebody who could be hating on your shit and they bumping it, it shows that it all comes in time. You just gotta work with it.
If you had to name 5 upcoming, maybe the underground scene that you said you love so much in the city, who do you think is top, your top 5 upcoming that you want to shout out, niggas that are coming up, on the come up?
Okay, rappers?
Yeah, it can be some just artists. And
I heard, artists, that applies to producers as well. I always gotta shout out Icy. My son Ice from rapping on Stack Shoeboxes, man, and the BX, man. That's one of the greatest producers out here. Who else? Shout out the whole Fresh Mountain clique. They be working. I love the energies. Work. Let me just shout out Next Gen. They be working. Work. It's too, you feel me, when I
don't mean to put you on the spot.
Exactly, but there's niggas out there that be working, which I love, and I fuck with the vibe. Shout out Jay Taylor, and you feel me, that's just the energy. Shout out Lil Spliffy, man, you feel me, that's just the energies that I love. Niggas be working. There's plenty others, if I didn't say you right now, I just know I acknowledge you, homie. No, I see you working, but I know niggas is working out there, which I love.
And kind of one of the main questions is just, where do you see the future of New York rap going? Do you see us still maintaining
Taliban?
Do you see us still being kind of isolated and not supporting each other as much as we should, or do you think we're making the right steps, to kind of come together and put some shit out?
It's hard to say for me. I don't have, to be honest, whether relating to the second question somewhat more, I don't know necessarily, because I feel like it wavers. Sometimes you might see people supporting each other and then sometimes they don't. You feel me? So, but I think the future of New York rap is just straight real shit, man. Straight real niggas, man, doing what they got to do to eat and feed their families. You feel me? So I think that the future of New York rap is going to be looking real nice, especially the fact that you got Taliban Fels, man, Fella D. We going to take shit over Damu Brothers, man. So you feel me? The fact that niggas is just working is going to all come in time, and it's going to all pay off. And I know the future of New York rap is going to be looking bright because I'm in it. Yeah.
True. And so, what's next for Taliban Fels? What's on the come up in the next in the near future that people need to watch out for?
Niggas just dropped a track, Lose to You, produced by Ace Beats. You feel me? Somebody's getting attention worldwide. We got people all over bumping that. What else? We got new music coming out. From Pill 9. Just about to drop some shit in the next couple of weeks. Icy always got shit going with him. In terms of a project, I'm putting together something for the end of the summer.
Okay.
Definitely. We'll see when it gets released, but I'm gonna definitely put a selection of songs together. And definitely just more shows. You feel me? Like definitely
keep performing,
bigger and better shows. Live. Come see it live and direct. You feel me? Some of these niggas be using auto tune. Come see it live and direct, man, and get it for yourself. Cause niggas be doubting. You feel me? Niggas be like, he could do it on the track, but can he do it in person? So come find out for yourself. You feel me? And more shows all over the city. And we just gonna turn up, man.
Yeah, I feel you.
That's how we're going. And shout out, man. Show coming up this weekend. Everybody pop out Choppy Chan show, man. You know how we rocking, man.
Sure.
We turning up.
So niggas gonna leave the links on the YouTube on the YouTube vid.
Taliban.
About to shout everybody out. Thank you, bro, for coming here.
Course,
you know,
thank you.
We're gonna be supporting for the rest of the time. Niggas gonna be shouting shit out. So definitely future New York looking bright.
Taliban Fels, man.
Sir.
Live and direct to Live and Die NY, man. Damu Brothers. We still gonna hustle, man. Gang shit.
New York Noise episode 4. We out.